ball game, it's fun, unless you want to sit there and be a deadbeat Dan, and that's not what I plan to be. And so we had all kinds of fun. And I have witnesses for everything that happens, because when I tell my stories, I know people say, no, this can't happen. First of all, I brought my daughter. Do I stand up, sweetheart? This is my baby. She's 31. And she still claims me. I'm so grateful. And when I found out I was pregnant with her, I thought I had a sinus infection. And I was almost 41 years old. And I just was all stuffed up. And I called the doctor, and he said, let's run some tests. And then he said, you're going to be stuffed up for the next 9 months, you know. And so she's our baby, and I just love bringing her. She's been here many times, and it's been a joy of joys. We have 6 children. My husband and I were married. We were married. Wait a minute. We have been married, and we celebrated our wedding anniversary last Thursday of 53 years. And that's a big deal. It really is. Real great. It's exciting to me because when I was 1970, I was diagnosed with an incurable kidney disease, and they told me I never lived to my 40th birthday. And so that is, to me, kind of humorous, because I'm still here. And the Lord willing, I'll be 72 this summer, and I'm still carrying on, so that's exciting, very exciting. But I don't look a day over 90, do I? Over 90. And the other day, a lady at Strack and Ventil said, you know, how old are you? I was going to a marriage retreat, and she said, are you getting married? I said, yeah. I'm going with my high school sweetheart. You're not married yet? I said, we've been married 53 years. And she said, how old are you, honey? And I said, well, I'll be 72 this summer. And she said, my, you're well preserved. I thought, I kid you not, I felt like a stuffed animal over a head. You know, I mean, those heads you have. But anyway, and so there's a lot to celebrate, isn't there? And if you're not involved and you're not in the game, I beg you to get involved. My days are shorter, I know that. Every year I say that, and I still keep coming back. Last year I did, though. This will give you an idea there was a problem. I was getting prepared, ready to come in this trip. I'll be as discreet as I can in explaining it. But I was taking a shower, and we cleaned the side of the shower area and the tub area, and all of a sudden it looked like a reddy orange, and I thought, I guess we didn't rinse it, you know. And all of a sudden I was hemorrhaging. And so, and just dripping down me, just coming down me. And so I called my husband. I said, Roy, I didn't want to act like a drama. I said, Roy, I think I have a problem. He said, what do you mean? I said, I think I'm hemorrhaging. And he said, do we need to go to the doctor? And I said, we could die. I could die right here if you'd like, or just take me in, whichever you prefer, you know. So we ended up going in. So Brother Ray was wondering if I'd still be able to come. Well, they had to quickly prepare me for a colonoscopy. You know what that is, if you don't look it up. And I'd rather have all my teeth removed to be in that banana scene, you know, than go through that. And so I was being prepared for it. And so Brother Ray said, I had a call to tell him there was no way. I mean, I had to have emergency surgery. Nothing's ever little that I do, nothing. I had to have surgery. So what did he say? Well, you think you're going to come in a couple days? And my husband said, I don't think she will. I'll be able. She can't even sit down right now. I don't think it'll work out. Well, the night before this is right before the meeting, I have all this Batman stuff, you know. I'm dying, but I'm dressed like Batman. And I'm sitting there, and I was taking all this medication you take for the colonoscopy. Do you know what I mean? Like you drink a gallon of this stuff without going in detail. And my son's videotaping me. So when you saw that video, there was more to that video if you saw it last year. Because I said, Justin, please hurry. I'm sorry, I won't be. You know. But I didn't die, and I'm back. So I was really glad I got to come. And I really mean this. I'm so honored to be asked. That's all I'll say, not to take time away from that. But I always think of the coaches' wives, how they put up with a lot, don't they? They really do. When I say put up, they don't feel that way. But the coach's wife, and Loretta, if you'll take this to them, please. The coach's wife here is Verna Ray. And I wanted her to have a watch, so thank you for your time. It's a beautiful watch. It's invitation diamonds. It's imitation gold and imitation diamonds, and I couldn't do it without also our coach's wife, Mrs. Linda Wilkerson, and I want her to have that. And she wears pearls a lot, so I have pearls for you. And it was difficult, but I went down and got the oysters, but I want to do something special for you. So every time you wear it, think of me diving into the ocean and getting all the oysters. And that's not true, but it sounds really good. I want us to have some fun just doing some things and teaching you some things. I love being in the ministry. I absolutely love it. You'd have to understand my background. I was raised very, very strict Roman Catholic. I went to Mass, 7 days a week, right? 7 days a week I went to Mass. I went to Catholic school. I surrendered to be a nun when I was in 8th grade. And I wasn't going to be just a nun. I was going to be a cloister. They don't talk. They just pray all the time. I thought that was a loyal decision, And I thought, I will be a cloister. I'm just going to pray all the time. And we went to St. Thomas More, right by our house where we live now. And I surrendered vocation day to be a nun. And when I was so excited when I got home, and I told my dad, I said, I'm getting in the game. I'm getting in the game. I'm going to be in full-time Christian service. This is it. Yep. And I said, I'm going to be a nun. He goes, you're going to be a nun? I said, yes. And he said, what? He said, what order? And I said, the cloisters. He said, JoJo, you never shut up. You won't get in the door. Be a nurse. Be a teacher. And I pray that I am. I'm still working on being a teacher at Howells Anderson College. 43 years last week I was there, and 44 years I just started. My 44th year is the same, 44 straight years. I've been bus captain of Route 32. And I wish I could get you all involved. That's through everything I've stayed on that route. That's losing 2 babies, and they were fully developed little babies. We don't know what happened. The heart stopped. And one, I actually went through labor at home and lost the baby, and we went through this twice. And I still remember carrying that baby, and then you make it into ministry afterward. Everything that God allows in your life, take it and make it a blessing. It becomes you may feel it's a burden at the time, but it's not. He chose it for me. He knew I can handle it, then I might be able to help somebody else out. And I've used it as a ministry. I still remember. This is way before you and Pastor Wilkerson came to be with us, but it was a lady who was bathing her children. And a lot of things in the ministry you're going to uncover. My husband is an associate pastor. 44 years we had the privilege to work with Pastor Wilkerson, my husband, and he's been an associate pastor there, Roy Moffitt, the cute one on the platform, third one over. You know him right away if you saw him. And I love him. I love him better every day. I love him better every day. Close by his side, I will abide. I love him better every day. Give me an R, give me an O, give me a Y. What's it spelled? Roy. Woo! I love him. I get a little excited when I think about him, If you could see the text he sends me, it's so cute. I love you. I really love you. I'll be praying for you. You're going to be fine. Just don't think about negative. You're going to be fine. I love you. I mean, he's so cute. Oh, he's so cute. That's your father. I mean, I figured it all out. I love when people say, how many children you have? I'm sure you get this. Well, you would have had 8 children. We have 2 children in heaven. We have 6 children living. And they'll say, how many children do you have? I'll say 6. And they'll say, 6? Tell me, 6. Are they all yours? As far as I know, yeah, I was there. I remember, And then they say, same husband? And then they say, did you want them all? No, I definitely didn't want this one here. I wanted the other 5. Teasing. Love you, Joy. Joy and I are writing. I'm doing a 4th book. I've written 3. We're doing a 4th book. And what is it called, Linda? Remember? You know the name. Linda's helping make up the name. Living with stay tuned. Living with the Joy Maker. Because Joy and I are writing it together. It's going to be something else. Anyway, I just want us to get excited about the ministry. Mrs. Evans used to always say, rejoice in the Lord always. And again, I say rejoice. I don't know about you, but they're just scripture after scripture. I love these Bibles. We got these from speaking at our ladies' conference, and so I have like 3 of them. I believe I have 3 Bibles and that I received, and this one was blessed to be a blessing. It was just, I love there's certain Bibles have certain meanings and certain special things for me. This one I wore because I had pink on, but if you notice, I changed. So I don't have another Bible that color unless I paint this, but I don't have paint, so that's what I have to do. But I love the verses in the Bible. I love them. They're healing. They're encouraging. But I love this. Just how can I do it? How can I get involved? What can I do in the ministry? And I love this. I love Philippians. I memorized all 4 chapters as I was actually a class at college. And we did it in series. Mrs. Evans teaching Women Used to God. And it says here, I love this, Philippians 3, verses 13 and 14. You've heard them over and over again. Brethren, I count not myself to have apprehended, but this one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind, and reaching forth unto those things which are before, I press toward the mark for the prize of the high calling of God in Christ Jesus. Why don't we forget the past and start out new? I can't think about the days I couldn't read. I have several health issues. I don't sit and run and dwell on it, but I have something that's really been a thorn in the flesh in the last couple of years. It's a twisted colon. And if you've ever had it was an ileus from a surgery, a simple surgery. We're going to take a little tiny device, and it's so simple. I've done hundreds of these, the doctor told me, an obstetrician gynecologist. I said, okay, to counteract the problem I was having. We're going to make a little incision right here in the navel. Well, my dad told me that's where the Indian shot me. And to this day, I cannot stand to touch that area. I do wash, but I don't like to touch it. It bothers me. He said, we're going to make a little incision there, and then down lower, just another little incision. Then we're going to take a little scope with a light through there to there, and we pump air. He sounded like it was, like we were going on a field trip or something, and I'm thinking, he said, and everything will just be fine, and we'll find out what's wrong. I said, oh, okay. Simple procedure. I said, will I be awake? Just slightly. I remember slightly. I remember they made the little, and I felt the warmth. And then I remember something ruptured inside of me as they went inside. And I heard the anesthesiologist saying to her husband, who's the gynecologist, OB doctor, saying, we're losing her. I was hemorrhaging. And I couldn't talk. There was something in my mouth, down my throat, and my eyes, I couldn't open my eyes. So I was doing ventriloquism. Don't lose me, Could someone please, don't lose me. Please don't lose me. And then they put me out deeper, and when I woke up, I had had a complete hysterectomy, bowel reconstruction, and bladder repair. And as they were, the nurse, if you're a nurse, please show kindness and empathy. As they're bringing me back, going home that afternoon, right? Yes, 6 days later, I'm still in the special unit. Not the mental ward. That was later. No. So there, she says, get up on all fours. I have another patient. Get up on all fours. I thought, what am I, an animal? What is she saying? I said, oh, they've left the tools in me. What have they done? Just move over. And I thought, whoa. Anything that could have gone wrong went wrong after that. Then it formed an ileus, something else, and they twisted the bowel in 2 places. It was wonderful. Finally, after day 6, everything was botched up. Day 6, they came and they said, you get to go home today. I said, you're kidding. I'm looking at all these machines, catheters, they put the catheter bag on your arm. I put kind of this glitter band around so it looked pretty, at least, when I have to look at that. And I'm laying in bed, and all of a sudden, where the Indian shot me? I put on my new nightgown. I wanted to put something new. I'm going home, right? And so, and I was not getting changed. They told me just put my coat on. I was a mess. And so all of a sudden, when the Indian shot me, it starts pumping out blood. I'm going, no, my new nightgown, Well, I'm hooked up to all these machines and everything. And I'm thinking, you know, the dike that in Holland where they saved the country. I pushed the button. This is special care. No nurse. I got out of the bed, carrying all my stuff, to go to the door. Hello? Hello? Ma'am, what's wrong? He said, and the nurse went, ah, and left. Back to the bed, and I thought, there's this crazy place. And all of a sudden the doctor comes in, he goes, what happened? He's a German Jew. He would not smile. It was my goal the whole week to get the man to smile. He says, what happened? I said, I don't know. You know where the Indians shot me? He goes, oh, we're in that again, you know. And he says, and he had this little stick thing called a cauterizer. He had it up there. I says, what are you doing with that? He said, I'm going to put it right where the Indian shot you. And we are going to stop the bleeding. I said, you're going to take that and put that there? He goes, yes. And I said, just a minute, I have to pray. I said, dear Lord, if I live through this, I'm going to the Naval Academy and I'm coming back after him. And then now he's laughing so hard, he couldn't hold the stick, you know. I lived again, you know. Ladies, make the best out of whatever happens to you. You're going to have things happen. Turn it around and find joy. That's the reason I've written books, to try to encourage you through the rough times. When you get in the game of life, you're going to have setbacks. I remember my husband's our care pastor. He goes to the hospital and visits. I love it. Many times I go with him. I love to go with him. I love just to bring some cheer to people. I don't go in and say, so how many days they say you have left? Boy, you look bad today. You know, that's not encouraging at all, you know. And so you try to encourage these people. And so many different times. I can remember one time I went to the hospital, and it was in Chicago, in fact. One of our families, this is many years ago, they had 3 children. The mom was on her way to the bank. Her 2 older boys were at home. She had the baby in the back seat. You may remember this, Carol, the story in Loretta. And as she was on her way, her husband was home sleeping. The other 2 children were at home. She was driving, and a semi coming down behind didn't brake. Quenched her car totally in, and she was killed. And the baby was on life support. And they kept her alive as much as possible, almost didn't even look human. And to go to one hospital and then you get to go to the other hospital. I remember going to the hospital, Comer's in Chicago, with the little boy. They had just buried another boy a year before that had been sickly. 2 boys at home, one had died right then. I remember the blood coming out of the ears and the nose and the mouth, this little boy, and had this little blanket they made for him. And I remember the husband just saying, just please sit here with me. Just sit here with me, will you? I said, we sure will. And I'm just trying so hard not to cry. You go get a person a sandwich. That's a ministry, folks, to do something for somebody. Help people. When people are coming into church, sit with them. Become their friends. Say, hey, sit by me. Come on, sit by me. You know, be friendly. Don't be too friendly. Don't be too friendly. I messed up there, too. A man that has friends must show himself friendly. The little Snaton kids, their daddy passed away when one was 2 and one was 5 months old. And my little buddies, they're grown now. Both of them finished House Anderson the last couple of years. Sweet, precious girls. It's a ministry. Just to love this family and go be with this family. And we honored them at our ladies' conference. You may remember that. We honored them. I got them a family picture of them. They never had a picture of their dad. And I had a picture digital imaged in. It's the only picture to this day they have with their dad. Well, I remember all this stuff. I'd go to church, and I'd go into, we called the Jack Collins Memorial Auditorium on the 2nd level, and I sat up there by them, and I'd always look for them in church, and they'd blow me a kiss. How sweet. One Sunday morning, went up, and there they were, and there was a man who was a visitor in front of them. Don't get too far ahead of me. And I thought the girls saw me. And the man went like this. thought, a man that hath friends must show himself friendly. Do you remember that? You know, some of these things you like to erase, but there were people that were there. So, especially my husband, who was down on the platform wondering what was going on. You know, you can. I forgot that. In-N-Out Burger, I love it. We're the Golden Girls, from Golden State. I always called you the Golden Girls. I want to meet you all. I love that school. That's our sister school, and we love you. On the airplane today, look, my gift. You say, what is this for? What is this for? What does it look like? It's not as pretty as your flower. They asked us to please clean the floor in front of us. Carol was there. Joy was there. Right? So I really cleaned that floor. I mean, I could carry a stick. And this guy named Adam standing right there. I said, Adam, I cleaned the floor. There was our prize, like a gold star or something. He goes, he made me this flower. And he signed it, Adam, 2/22/18. You know, to be friendly, folks, is a ministry. To be friendly, to get involved with people. Hey, you're up to bat. You scared of me? You know what? We're all up to bat. Let's get in the game. Let's get in. What could you do? What could you be doing more? Soul winning? The biggest thing, I think, in the whole involvement is to win people to Christ. There's no greater joy. February the 9th, 1966, I accepted Jesus Christ as my personal Savior, and I have never been the same. I want to share it with everybody. In my letter, I don't know if you did it for everybody, but you know I give out tracts. I have 20 tracts I get to give out, and I'll have them all given out. I promise you. You give out tracts. I don't even know where. I gave them out to the people, the lady who was pushing me. I come in a wheelchair because I had knee replacement. As you're getting older, things start falling apart. I want you to know I walked up without holding on the banister for the first time in a year and a half tonight. I was excited about that. Isn't that silly? But I was so excited. The eyes are going. I had to have cataract surgery, had implants put in there. Now they said it's coming back, the cataract. I mean, whatever can happen, you know. I mean, yeah, and my last blood work, they said, doesn't look good. Liver's off, kidneys off, heart's off. I said, anything on? You know, you need to come back at the end of December just to see if it changes. I'm waiting a while. What is this, February? Because I want to come here. If I'm going to die, I want to come here and live and then go die. You know what I mean? But folks, a lot of people live dead. They're dead. They're alive, but they're dead. Are you alive? Let's become more so alive. What could you do? Could you invite somebody to church? Could you pass out tracts? My husband has 2 stipulations for me traveling. One is I'm not to jump on beds. I say, why do they make the hotel beds so secure? Joy and I have 2 beds. If you're good, you can be on one bed, she can be on the other bed, you can jump back and forth. When you get really good, you can clap hands. If you're tall, you can jump. Lydia, you and I, hit the ceiling. There's so much you can do with this, you know. Don't do flips, you probably get injured. Well, I'm a very challenged person. Don't give me a challenge. My daughter, we were speaking together in North Carolina just a few weeks ago. My husband said, I feel like I'm 4 years old. Look at me. JoJo, stop it. JoJo, you are not to jump on beds. My one son heard him like, what? Jumped on beds. I have a new rule. Oh, the second rule is I have to go in a wheelchair because of the knee. It swells when I fly, and it swells on the hard floor, so I use a wheelchair. Today, using that wheelchair, I was able to lead Delia to Jesus Christ. A girl who's from Mexico City shared the gospel. She says, I've never heard this. Never. What if I missed her today? If you can only get up in the morning and say, Lord, if you were here today, Lord, who would you help? Please use me. What can I do for you, Lord? What can I do? Well, we were in this meeting, and it was a Batman theme. Again, superheroes. Ladies, picture this. You'll get much more from it. 2 poles right here. poles. The superheroes, as they introduced them, were way up there. That's high, you know. Do you see at the top of that? Would you say that's pretty accurate, Joy? To get to it, you had to go behind the curtain here to go up a 20-foot ladder that wobbled like this. And then you had to walk out into a plank. Am I saying it right, Joy? You had to walk out this, what is it? 2x4 that was moving. And then you had to step over onto a 2x4 to walk sideways to touch the pole out here and grab the pole and pull it against you as you slid down. That's what those fellows did. Isn't that amazing? When they introduced my daughter, I'm looking all over for her. Within seconds, she came down the pole dressed as Batgirl. What do you think went through my mind? I could do that. I know I could do that. Is this true? Kathy Berry, a preacher wife friend of mine, said, I'll give you $50. You said you take your family out on Sundays when you travel. I'll give you $50 if you do it. Oh, okay. Joy, remember the real not the real Batman. This wasn't the real Batman, the real Batman at the thing. He says, I'll go with you. I said, that wouldn't look good, coming down the pole. Do you remember? He says, I'll go with you. No. So he says, I'll hold the ladders. Can you imagine? I'm going up 20 foot up in the air with a knee that's just been replaced. I did not jump on beds. And I stepped over on this plank that's moving, just step over this area that you go boom if you fell. And here she says, I'll go first. She's going to go again. So she does like pro now. You know, I said, Joy, the pole's out here. How am I going to do this with this pole? She says, Mom, like a professional, Mom, I know it's out there. Just take it, pull your body against it as hard as you can, and you're going to go down. That was very true. When I went down, my hands went whoop, and I went boom, and that leg hit the pole. I was speaking, the final speaker. I thought, this is not good. And Kathy goes, you'll get the 50. Oh, I went to go get that $50 from her right away. Well, Joy picked up on it right away. She went and got this chair, a hard chair with a little stool. And I said, it'd be nice if I had a little softer chair. You know, she goes and gets the chair. This is the truth. It is really the truth. I sit like a Miss Priss now, speaking with my leg swelling. I could feel it swelling. All of a sudden, I looked down the aisle, and I thought I was seeing things. I saw a leg sitting. It was a prosthesis. Someone felt sorry for me and unscrewed their leg and put it in the middle of the aisle so I would have a leg. Is that true? Did you go get the leg? You went down. It's hard to be in my family. It's hard to be me, but then I have one just like me. She runs and gets the leg and brings it up. It was out of control. And I'm trying to, this leg sitting there like I'm supposed to replace this one, you know. And this lady lost her leg now. And so then they bring me up this little tiny ice pack. And I spoke through it. We get in the plane. I thought, how am I going to explain this to Dad? So we get in the car, and I had this little ice pack on top of my purse. I sat down, and my husband said, a good meeting, and Joy got in the back seat. And as I opened up my purse, the ice pack just fell out right next to him. He says, is that an ice pack? I went, yeah. You know, like I just carry him. Yeah, uh-huh. He said, why do you have an ice pack? And I said, well. And then he looks in the back seat, he goes, Joy, why does your mother have an ice pack? And she went, well. So when I left, he said, do they have any polls at this church? You know, no. Get involved in the ministry. It's so much fun. It was so much fun sitting on the plane today. A lady said, JoJo Canaan? That's my maiden name. Is this true? I mean, I'm not making this stuff up. I'm thinking, yeah, JoJo Canaan. Just someone says my name, my maiden name. I said, JoJo Canaan. She's, you are JoJo. And I said, yeah, I am. And she said, you ran against my sister for homecoming queen in high school. And she said, and you beat my sister. And I said, do you still like me? And And she told me, my sister died a year ago. Do you know it was fun, Linda? You got to meet them. Gave them all gospel tracts. One lady, what did she say? I've already done this. And I think you said to her, give it to someone else. And then we met Fran Collins, who lives in Briar Ridge, a gated community. Her daughter's an OBGYN doctor in our area, and invited her. And what did she say? I'm going to surprise you and come to your church. Folks, we've got to get out of ourselves. Get out of ourselves. Think your way into people's lives. Think your way into people's lives. What would you do? Pass out gospel tracts. Invite people to church. Go by and pick them up. Believe me, in the bus ministry, there's a lot of challenges. When you said you're a bus kid, I thought you left. I've had hot dogs, and I've had pizza, and I've had donuts. And you know what? Heaven's a promotion. Streets of gold, gates of pearl, no heartache, no sickness. And we're all going there. That's if you've asked Jesus to be your Savior. Right now, think about it. Do you know 100% sure, beyond a doubt, that if you died today, you'd go to heaven? I do. I do. I'm on the team. I'm on the team. Are you? But are we really on the team? Do we back our pastor? Do we encourage our pastor's wife? You know, the greatest way you love people is love their kids. Lydia, when you moved here, of the Wilkersons, you honored me more than you ever honored me. You wanted to give me a nickname. What did you call me? Grandma JoJo. So I'm going to be Grandma JoJo. What can you do? I don't know if I do that much, but remember their birthdays. To honor them in any way you can with your words, with your encouragement. In church, like this, instead of, and be faithful to church. Get excited about coming to church. Get excited about it. When you go home on Saturday, we didn't sleep much last night at all. I went to bed, I guess, midnight, woke up at 12, 12:15, 12:30, because I was afraid I was not going to hear the alarm. 1:45, 1:15, 1:30, 2, 2:15, 2:30, finally got up. If I look bad, that's the reason it happened. My husband said, JoJo, you can't keep going like this. I said, I'll get to sleep. I said, yeah. He says, yeah, you're going to die. I said, if I die, I know what's going to happen. The trumpet's going to rise in the rapture, and I'm up again. I'm going to get right up and go again. And if that's how God's going to plan it, wouldn't that be wonderful? Let's get involved. Let's get involved in our churches. Let's get involved with our family. I'm a Moffitt. This is my home church. This is White Sox, Chicago White Sox. I'm a fan, wins and losses. I'm also a fan here. Wins and losses. Wins and losses. Cheer for your kids. Cheer for your kids. Cheer for your husband. Come on, Roy. ROYLEEMOFFITT. Roy Moffitt. Get excited. Get excited. You've heard me do it before. Get excited. Get excited. Get excited. Woo! Or get excited. Get excited. Get excited. Woo. I've been attending First Baptist Church faithfully for 53 years, and I don't plan to quit. I don't plan to quit the bus ministry. Even like right now, I can't even write it right now. I'm making phone calls, doing what I can, but I can't write it because of the colon issue I'm in. Sometimes I don't even know where I'm going to make it next. I have to sit in the back of the services often, but I keep coming. I keep coming. Let's be faithful to church. Just say, hey, 3 to thrive. I think it was Dr. Lee Robertson used to say that, 3 to thrive. You know what? I need gas in my filling station, don't you? But the thing is, too, don't just take it, give it. Give it. Let me tell you one quick story, and I'm going to quit up. I made it time-wise. I have 5 minutes. Yes. A story of a sweet story. Those little kids that I told you about, their mom that passed away, that was probably one of the hardest days of my life, honestly. To stand there, he says, will you stay with me until they take my little boy? They're taking a piece of his hair. They're taking his footprint, and they're taking his handprint. I'm not joking at what it did to me. And I just kept swallowing my tears. And I kept thinking, what can I do now? Well, someone will take care of him. That needed encouragement, how we can encourage each other. People who's going through a tough time? Can you make some extra soup? We have a man whose wife had her pancreas removed. She's not going to live very long. I can make a little bit of extra food, but twice a week we send over their spaghetti. Last night we took over beef stew. I'm not Miss Wonderful. I'm just sharing with what I have. And this guy, he's never come to church. But he says, if ever you could be a Christian by watching a life, I'll be a Christian by watching yours. I said, no. You have to be a Christian by accepting Jesus Christ as your personal Savior. It's not me. It's not my church. It's not baptism. It's a personal relationship with Jesus Christ. You can do things like this. Well, those little boys, what's happened? Oh, that's been 10 years ago. I hardly see them. I saw them at church Wednesday. Went to church Wednesday night, which was just yesterday. I'm just really losing time right now. Was it just yesterday? Really? It's got Christmas or anything yet, is it? I'm okay. And girls, when you start losing it, it's really sad. You have your glasses on above your head like this. I mean, I'm so tired of losing my glasses. I know they're here somewhere. Mom, they're on your head. I knew that. Yeah, I knew that, But last night in church, the boy now from this big, they were 5 and 7. Add 10 years to that now. He's grown. And no, he's 8. He was 8 when his mom died. He's 18. He's taken some college classes. I saw him. I said, and I didn't say his name because I didn't ask permission. I'm not going to mention the name. I said, I don't believe it. He goes, I'll never forget you as long as I live. And I said, why do you say that? He said, I remember how you were there for my dad. I remember you were there when my mom died. And I remember because her casket was closed. And that little boy was hysterical. She said, I have to see my mom. And at the cemetery, they actually opened the casket to let him see his mother, very badly deformed, and he was okay. But before, as they were leaving, 2 caskets at First Baptist Church, the mother and the little boy. And as they left, the undertaker was at the head of the mother, the other one was at the end, and the 2 little tiny boys were the pallbearers pushing their mother's casket. Their little brother's casket was open, and they closed it. And they took a flower off the mother's casket and off the little boy's casket and carried it. And I had 2 little bags from the Dollar Tree. What do you put in it? Oh, one of those little alligators that you put in water and it gets bigger. You have some little coloring papers, some crayons, a little scrapbook thing that they like to do, some kind of thing, a little puzzle, a little airplane you put together. I probably spent maybe $10, maybe. And I put a can of pop in it with some chips in it. I bought something, some treats, some Hostess Ho-Hos in it they could eat. And they escorted their mom and their baby out in 2 separate hearses. One got in the hearse with the mom, one got in the hearse with the baby brother. I'll never forget it. They saw me, and because I'd been around during that time, they both came running out. Mrs. Muffin, they never know my name. They always call me, or Mophead, that's the newest one. And they both hugged me, and I said, I kind of followed. I didn't know how to catch them, but I said, I have just a little goodie bag for both of you. And they started to cry. And they both took their flowers and went like this. These flowers are for you. Off their mother's casket, that's all they had left. That's the game of life. Are we really in the game, ladies? Are we really? Can't we do more? Can't we pray more? What Mrs. Wilkerson was talking about, loving and seeing and feeling God's love instead of questioning his love. He loves me. He loves me. He loves me. Don't we need to reaffirm, yes, you do love me, and I'm going to stop this, and I'm going to trust you more. That was wonderful. It really was. And the things you go through to doubt and question, let's all stand, would you? I want to ask you just a couple quick questions. And again, may I say, I love coming here. I'm an Indiana girl from the way-go, but I love California. I love it. Maybe you don't understand this, but I have prayed for this meeting like you'll not understand. Every speaker, as Mrs. Wilkerson was speaking, I was praying. As you were speaking, giving your testimony, I'm praying, oh God, please use them. Please keep our hearts open. Please let them fill me. Please, Lord, let me be changed. Don't you want to be changed, ladies? I don't want to be the same, do you? I want to not be selfish, but step out of your world. Step out of your comfort zone. What can I do to help you, Lord? Because I'm up to bat. Oh, I may not hit a home run, but I'm going to go for it. And I may have some strikeouts, and I may have some heartaches, and I might have some, but I'm going to keep on keeping on for the Lord. I am not going to quit. There's so much more we can do for the Lord. First of all, I want to ask you this. If you don't know for sure, 100% sure that you're on your way to heaven, please, to trust the Bible, what do you have to lose? But what do you have to gain? Eternity, heaven, forever and ever and ever. If you don't know for sure, you come up when we start the music. I want you just to move out of your seat and come up here, but also we need to make some decisions. I wish you would all just pour down the aisle. What can you do more? What could you start doing? What can we do to show the love of the Lord? You have little boys in your churches. You have people in the hospitals. You have people that need to come to church if we just get out and reach them. We have little girls like this, Joanne. We need to do things, folks, to be in soul winning, passing out gospel tracts. All those ladies pass out the track. It's not me. It's the Holy Spirit through us speaking. Don't you want to do more? Let's get in the game. Let's get in the game. As she starts the music, get out of your seats and come on up and let's